Living in Fiji means you must always be aware of the fact that you live in the tropics. The high temperatures and humidity will make your winter clothing useless, so make sure you're mentally ready for heat. Tell me if Fiji would be your retirement destination. Hello everyone, this is Jordan Blue, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. This channel is all about how my girlfriend and I achieved financial independence and debt freedom 2 years back since paying off our mortgage. With my newfound freedom, I talk about how we made it happen, the types of passive income we have that anyone could implement, our thoughts of early retirement overseas, personal thoughts, and general financial issues. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our weekly content full of information helping you get to financial independence yourself. Today's topic is on the 8 best reasons to retire to Fiji. Just as a disclaimer, the information provided is a general guide and to be used for educational purposes only. Fiji may be relatively small in size, but there is so much to see and do where you can make the most of while being an expat. There's also a ton of different islands to choose from, as you'll see. Let's jump into more points now. Number 1. Culture in Fiji. The Republic of Fiji Islands is a multicultural island nation with cultural traditions from the Oceanic, European, South Asian, and East Asian origins. Immigrants have accepted several aspects of the indigenous culture, but a national culture has not evolved. Fiji is made up of a diverse population with indigenous Fijian, Indian, European, and Chinese heritage. You'll find their distinct flavors through their food, their encounters, festivals, music, and customary arts. Fiji history apparently began when Chief Lieutenant Suva, the Box of Blessings, and his followers traveled across the seas and landed in Fiji. It's actually believed that they came from Southeast Asia through the Malay Peninsula over 3,000 years ago. Fiji was later invaded and defeated by the Melanesians in 1500 BCE. Fijians today represent the descendants of the Melanesians, and the Polynesians have created a unique, friendly, and fascinating society. Nearly all Fijians speak English. Children begin learning English in the first grade, along with the traditional Fiji language, the child's local dialect, and sometimes Chinese or Hindi. There's many Fijian superstitions as well. One would be that coconuts have eyes, and watch for certain people on which to fall from their trees. It's considered bad luck, so watch out for falling coconuts. There's also a strong gift-giving culture. Food for a community ceremony is a long-standing tradition. Food gifts such as raw or cooked oxen, whole pigs, and turtles are common. It's also common for people in Fiji to live with family members who share resources, eat together, and have access to all areas of the home. A typical household has a couple, married sons and their wives, and children, unmarried children, and possibly a widowed parent and grandchildren. Number 2. Places to live in Fiji. Suva. Suva is the capital of Fiji. It could be cheap or expensive depending on the lifestyle you choose to follow. You can have a city life here, but at a smaller scale. The city is well known for being the largest cosmopolitan city in the southern Pacific Ocean and is populated by a large expat community. Suva is good though, as a change from big city life to island-sized city life, and from there you can find smaller, quieter places. There are nightclubs, apartments, and houses from $250 to luxury flats and homes ranging around $3,500 or more a month. Suva is also famous for holding the National Museum, the Fiji Museum, and being in close proximity to the Koloi Suva Forest Park. Lautuka. This is called the Sugar Town, and is called this because of the large amount of sugarcane farms and the ever-present sugar train. It's also the seaport town, and some cruises leave from here. There's wide streets decorated with foliage and have the ever-visible Evans mountain range as a backdrop. There's also a large Indo-Fijian presence, so the streets have a lively Indian flair. The shops and large markets give visitors a great city shopping experience. Other than the sugar industry, the city also houses timber milling, blending, steelworks, paints, fishing, hatchery, and other industries. Nadi. This would be the third largest city where most international visitors come to see. 95% of visitors start their holidays here in Fiji. There's a mix of shops, temples, markets, eateries, and a nightlife to experience. The city is a significant religious center of Hinduism and Islam. The Sir Siva Subramania Temple is the biggest Hindu temple in the southern hemisphere and is located in Nadi. Number 3. Food in Fiji. Lovo. Lovo is a traditional Fijian meal cooked in an underground oven. It's much like the New Zealand's hangi and is prepared by digging a hole in the ground and heating special stones on the bottom layer. The heated stones helps cook the meal. It's then covered with dirt until it's smoking hot when the cooked food is uncovered and shared. The cooking process can take several hours. There are combined flavors of pork, fish, lamb, chicken, along with assorted vegetables, and the addition of banana leaves gives a very special smoky flavor to the dish. Kokonda. Kokonda is commonly referred to as Fiji's coconut ceviche and served as a popular entree. This is a raw fish dish, ceviche. It's made with fresh fish soaked in lemon or lime juice, which cooks the fish. Spring onions, red onion, chilies, capsicum, and tomatoes are regular additions, then soaked in coconut milk. It's served on a bed of lettuce or fresh fruit salad and is usually a starter dish that comes in a coconut shell, bamboo, or even a pineapple. This dish is topped with fresh coconut cream to create a rich creamy flavor with an addition of tomatoes, spring onion, and chili. This healthy dish can be eaten along with main course lunch or dinner or just with bread for breakfast. It's a favorite food even at wedding parties, as also different festivals on the island. Tolo Poi. This is a famous vegetarian dumpling snack dish for breakfast. You can get these Fijian dumplings quickly, as the preparation is quite simple. It's usually eaten for breakfast or even with morning tea in Fiji and is served sliced adding lots of butter. It's a finger food that is relatively hard and firm, unlike the tender inside. There's a smell of mud flour and coconut cream. Number 4. Things to do in Fiji. Fiji is blessed with so much turquoise water, white sand beaches, jungle rivers, and authentic culture that it almost seems unfair. If you're looking for a decadent resort, family getaway, or backpacker adventure, these islands have it all. Mamanuskas. There is a near-perfect string of white sand isles with blue water that is paradise to many. There are famous surf spots like Cloud Break that bring in wave riders and their families. Now there isn't a lot of cultural bling here, but it has good weather. You can get anywhere by boat with prehistoric looking jungle coves with rare and colorful birds. It also has the 4th largest barrier reef in the world, renowned for its cavern and tunnel-filled underwater landscapes, manta rays, and phenomenal fishing. Natural hot springs. Now there are mud pools and hot springs, a good way for self-cleansing and naturally beautifying. You can cover your entire body in warm mud naturally created by the geothermal spring and let it bake in the sun. You can then wade in a pool and relax in the soothing and weirdly creamy the pit of the mud. Island hopping. Now there are over 300 islands that could be explored and has become extremely popular, allowing you to freely explore the islands at your own pace. You can also join others as well to explore, and depending on the island that you do explore, there are also different activities as well. Snorkeling in clear waters. Fiji has been described as a real-life aquarium. There are many colorful corals and beautiful marine life. The Yasawa Islands are the absolute best place to go snorkeling. And if you're lucky, you might get to see some sharks and manta rays swimming by you as well. So you can get yourself a mask and throw yourself into the warm and pleasant waters of Fiji. Number 5. Cost of living in Fiji. It's sometimes surprising how expensive day-to-day costs can be living in Fiji, especially if you're trying to live in a similar standard as your home country. There's a vast gap between the rich and the poor in Fiji, but if you're willing to drop your standard of living, you can live relatively cheaply. But if you're looking to keep a standard of living similar to that of home, it won't be cheap. A lot of the consumables are imported into the country, so they are generally more expensive than what you'll be expecting. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant would be $5 between $4 and $7 USD. A meal for 2 people in a mid-range restaurant for a 3-course meal would be $28 between $18 and $46 USD. Utilities for an apartment would be $84 between $39 and $139 USD per month. The internet would be $44 between $23 and $87 USD per month. Expat accommodation in the main cities of Suva and Nadi is relatively expensive for Western standards. There's also limited housing stock as well, which could take time for new expats to find suitable accommodation. An apartment 1-bedroom in city center would be $635 between $323 and $1,619 USD per month. An apartment 1-bedroom outside a city center would be $301 between $161 and $462 USD per month. An apartment 3 bedrooms in city center would be $1,400 between $925 and $2,776 USD per month. An apartment 3 bedrooms outside a city center would be $786 between $393 and $1,804 USD per month. Number 6. Buy property in Fiji. The Republic of Fiji has over 300 tropical islands, and foreigners could get real estate in a developing and central South Pacific country. Now, foreigners can freely purchase apartments, but there are certain restrictions. Freehold is the only land type that can be purchased outright by non-residents. There's no time frame on ownership of freehold, and so it's often regarded as the most secure tenure. Its real estate system is similar to Australia and New Zealand, called the Torrens system. The system applies the regulation of land ownership and dealings through the Land Transfer Act. Foreigners could own freehold property within municipal boundaries if that property is a residential dwelling within integrated tourism developments. Foreigners could also acquire hotel operations that are licensed under the Hotel and Guest Housing Act. It's a wise idea to hire an attorney when purchasing real estate in Fiji. Legal guidance can be very helpful. Foreign buyers will most likely end up working with real estate agents. Also, foreigners can't buy land if they don't have a residence or work permit in Fiji. The amount of land that is reserved for foreigners to buy is also restricted heavily. Foreigners also aren't able to freely rent out property. They have to obtain permission from the Fiji Trade and Investment Board, but this could be easily cleared. Number 7. Healthcare in Fiji. It's highly recommended that you obtain quality health and medical insurance before you depart your home country. But if you're relocating to Fiji as part of an employment or a large corporation, you will likely gain it as part of your package. It gives you access to the private hospital and medication and medical evacuation to your hometown. Now, Fiji is a developing country, and the standard of healthcare reflects this. In urban areas, Fiji's public hospitals tend to be adequate, but in rural areas, public health facilities are very basic and inefficient or non-existent. Expats can seek treatment at government-run hospitals in Fiji, but standards of care are not always good and there tends to be long waiting times. Doctors and medical staff in Fiji generally speak a good standard of English, so communication may not be an issue. Expats are advised to opt for private healthcare in Fiji wherever possible, as standards are likely to be closer to those in Western countries with shorter waiting times and more modern facilities. Dental care in Fiji is adequate, with most dentists being trained in Australia or New Zealand. There's a fee for any type of dental treatment, however. Number 8. How to live in Fiji. There are different visas available that are varied and very specific. Depending on the country you're from, you will automatically be granted a 4-month tourist visa upon arrival in Fiji. But this won't give you permission to work or for your children to attend school. For working and living in Fiji, you have a couple of options. Working permit. An employer needs to apply through Immigration Fiji on your behalf while you're out of the country. Work permits are not granted for anyone who arrives in Fiji on a tourist visa, so you must apply and have your work permit granted before your arrival. There's also the investor working permit. Provided you can meet certain requirements, it's not too difficult to achieve. A residence visa. For this, you'll need to meet strict monetary requirements, including to be able to sufficiently support yourself. No specific amounts were found, but it's on a case-by-case basis. Residence permits are granted to individuals who wish to settle down in the country, but have no intention of working or setting up a business. These are primarily for retirees. You should note that by obtaining a working or investor permit, your spouse and children will gain residence visas, and this will allow your children to attend school. But expats, however, moving to Fiji should be aware that it can be quite difficult to gain a work permit. Immigration in Fiji seems to be very strict. You want to check if you are legally permitted to reside in Fiji. If you happen not to qualify for Fiji citizenship, you can consider a residence permit on assured income. If you have assets outside the Fiji Islands, an amount efficient to ensure that there will be no charge on public funds while residing in Fiji. This means that you'll have assets outside the Fiji Islands in amount sufficient to ensure that there will be no charge on public funds while residing in Fiji. But what you'll find is that most expats that do have employment are often employed in management, education, tourism, and the NGO sectors. It's however hard to get a work permit in Fiji. But most expats explore islands, the remote jungle interior, or travel to smaller nearby islands. They spend their time sailing, surfing, or diving on the surrounding coral reefs. Now, Fiji is a unique mix of cultures, natural beauty, and tropical lifestyle. It makes for a great destination for resilient expats. There are some parts of the country that do have high crime rates, however, but most of the crime that takes place in Fiji is petty. You'll just need to be cautious. Robbery, theft, and crime have been known to occur in Fiji, and expats have often fallen victim to these incidents. Foreigners should also avoid driving wherever possible. While road conditions in urban areas of Fiji are of a decent standard, in rural areas conditions are poor. There's also cyclones in Fiji. The Pacific cyclone season runs from November to April. On average, there are 9 tropical cyclones per season. Cyclones vary in intensity and the damage and destruction they cause. The type of experience you want to gain from retiring to Fiji will factor greatly on the location you choose. There are occasional water cuts, electricity cuts, and the water pressure issues. People here are relaxed with some of the friendliest people on earth. Fiji also was a British colony, and even though Fijian and Hindu are their principal languages, everyone studies English in school, so you'll be able to converse with most anyone. But expats who do decide on moving to Fiji will find a Pacific paradise rich in culture with pristine beaches and many places to explore. It can be both exciting and rewarding. Well, tell me what you think of the 8 best reasons to retire to Fiji in the comment section below. If you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. I hope you have a great day and see you soon.